So this comes from a time in my life in 2013. So in 2011, 2012, I sold my agency for $1 to somebody else, to another agency. And I did that because I was so far in debt and I felt like that was the only way out. Very difficult time in my life, for sure. Very emotional time in my life. Probably the closest that I would say that I've ever come to depression. In that time, for about a year, I worked for someone, even though I partially owned the business with them. And eventually in May, I think it was, of 2013, I woke up one day after, smoking weed all day long for the last year or so, and, pretty much drinking almost every night and really covering up depression and knowing that I wasn't on my life's path, and said, I'm not going to peak at, I don't know, however old I was, 21 or 22. I went in and I told my business partner, his name was Andrew. I told Andrew, listen, I'm sorry, it's not going to work out for me. And we figured it out. Thankfully, didn't have to go the legal route or anything like that. Here's the thing though. I had about $10,000 in my bank account, maybe 15, and I had no credit. I had no real backup plan, no real opportunity. I had the inability to go to any of the clients that I had at that agency, which were my past clients, and actually make money with them from a contract perspective. What I did was I set up meetings with pretty much every single LinkedIn contact I had, person that I knew that I didn't do business with before, over the next month. Phone meetings, in-person meetings at their office, lunch meetings, dinner meetings. For the next month, I essentially just listened to people and their problems and saw if there was a way for me to be able to be on one side and then be on the other, and me be able to help them. Now, I did everything from radio ads to billboard ads to programming websites to developing marketing campaigns, but I was able to close about $250,000 in sales in about a month, which gave me the opportunity to put enough cash in the bank to get the momentum to start an agency that became a multi-million-dollar agency the following less than 12 months. And it also allowed me to make it so that I was an entrepreneur again. I was back in my mojo. I owned my reality in my life. I didn't have somebody breathing down my neck. Didn't have somebody that was out of alignment in their life, and my integrity was on the line, and I didn't like that a whole lot. Again, this was 2014, so this was a while ago. This is about 9 years ago. But the way that I remembered it, I really just reached out to those people and said, hey, listen, here's what I can help you with. I don't know if I can help you, but let's just quickly have a conversation. Now, I was in a local area, which made this maybe a little bit easier than if you're not. These were people that knew who I was, right? So these weren't completely cold. They had an idea. I had examples of work and case studies and things, people I've worked with beforehand, which definitely helped me being able to do this. This wasn't just me coming out of nowhere and just saying, hey, I have a digital agency and you want to work with me. But I sat with them and there wasn't any particular, hey, here's this product and I'm trying to sell you a product. I just simply listened to them and I said, well, if I could help you with this, would that be helpful? And they go, yeah. And I literally come up with a number on the spot for it. I didn't do a proposal, didn't do whatever. And I say, was that interesting? And they said, yeah, that's interesting. Can you get me some specifics? I get it. If not, all right, on to the next person. And that was really the way and the frame in which I was able to generate that first $250,000 in revenue right from the get-go. And it was really just bringing people through that 4-step process of, all right, what's your pain, in this case, in your business? What does it look like to have that solved, and what does it do in your life? Understanding what that gap is and how I can be able to help. And okay, is this something that you want to do? And if you don't want to do it right now, that's fine. But if you do, then, let's get started and let's make this a reality. That was really how that whole time happened and occurred. You got to paint the picture for you, okay? This was Newfoundland. It was the small province in Canada with 500,000 people. And from the time I was 16, I was a child prodigy that was on the news and won all these awards and everything else. Someone Googled me and very quickly was like, oh, I had an unfair advantage. Just like I always have an unfair advantage. And that's why I always tell people, you got to find your unfair advantage. That was mine. By the time I was 21 years old, it was very easy to Google me and be like, okay, this person is legit. This person has helped other people. It wasn't the case where, it wasn't when I was 15, I was cold calling people, right? Hey, it's Scott Oldford. I want to talk about websites. I see, your website. I don't think it's doing a whole lot for you. I don't think it's giving you a whole lot of leads. I was wondering if we could set up a conversation 4 p.m. tomorrow. I can come to the office. I'm going there after fucking school. All right. 4 p.m. after school. I'd go there, go through the pages, show them why their website sucks, that bad design, people on their mobile website, on a desktop, they can't be on it. I was cold calling back then. By the time I was 21, 22, I had hundreds of clients in a condensed area, or in this case, some people would be a condensed niche, and I didn't have to be, particularly cold, but I put the time in. I put the time in at the beginning. It was just cold calling. I cold called the government. You know what? When I was 16, I got my first town council as a client. Okay. And designed a town website. Now, town website, the beautiful thing about town websites, you'd make 10 to 40 grand on a town website back then. And these are small towns, 5,000 to 25,000 people, but they were required by law in Canada to have a website. Their website sucked. I'd cold call, and I wouldn't cold call the mayor because I'm not going to get to the mayor. I'd get to the economic development person, right? Why? Because who cares about the website? The economic development person trying to get bigger businesses to come into there. So I got one. And then I said, hey, listen, do you have any people that you can refer me to? The economic development officer in a town is on the board with every other single one. And they meet 2 times a year to share ideas and everything else. And then I'd go and I got 3 or 4 of these done. And then I went to my own hometown, town of Grand Falls, Windsor. You can give it a Google. And I said, listen, you can't have someone outside of the town doing the town website. You're giving business to a different town. I'm here, I'm local. I got an office downtown. I had my first office when I was 15 downtown in my town. $325 a month. First time I had high-speed internet access. Got that one. And I basically, over the next 5 years, created a monopoly on almost every town in my entire province by doing that. And I did that. And then I utilized those town websites to get to the government of Newfoundland and Labrador. I used that relationship to get to the province of Ontario, because Newfoundland and Labrador only got 500,000 people. Ontario got millions. And that is how I landed one of the largest contracts that I had at the time, which is a multi-million-dollar contract for an education institution in Ontario that was across Canada. We developed apps for them. We developed all kinds of different things for them. Now we're up to about 2013, 2014, which were actually one of the, so here's what I did after that 2013. I said, you know what? I'm not going to do lead generation. I'm not going to do funnels. I'm not going to do ads. I'm not going to do anything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just simply meet with people, talk to people, listen to them, and solve their problems. And that's what I did. And that's pretty much what I've been doing ever since. Then it just came to the fact that I could do it at scale, which is where ads and funnels and all these things count. When I talk about the ROI method, I talk about the ROI method, relevancy, omnipresence, intimacy, not because that methodology got created using online marketing. That methodology was created when I was knocking on doors and I was doing phone calls, and I'd listen to someone and be like, all right, this person has no idea that they need a website. I'm not going to tell them that they need a website. Hang up, done. Pick up the phone. Oh, look, this person knows that they need a website. They know that their website sucks. They know they need good design. They know they need a lead generator on their website. They know they need a mobile website. Okay, let me talk to that person because that person's relevant. And then I said, for omnipresence, okay, now who does that person look to? I was at every chamber event. I was part of every chamber of commerce in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. I was everywhere. I'd figure out how to get the speaking on stage. I figured out how to win the awards, figure out how to get into the news. That was omnipresence. And then intimacy, I always understood because I realized that one-on-one relationships is what drives business. That's the extended story of that. I started out with nothing. I really did. And I started out when I was 8 with some chickens with at the beginning, 36 chickens that my dad bought for me, right? Yeah, 36 chickens, you get about 29 eggs a day. Then I got 100, then I got 300, right? So by the time I'm 10, I'm like the farmer kingpin. That doesn't work that long because chickens don't lay golden eggs. And back then you can only sell a dozen eggs for about $2.75. Sometimes you get $3.25. Then I learned programming. I learned online. I learned all these different types of things. There's a lot of things in between that I'm leaving out of the story, but it all come back to just getting it better and better and better and better. One opportunity led to the other opportunity. And I got better. I got continually better every single time, right? Every website, every programming project, everything that I did, I just got better and better and better. One thing I will say that, the agency that bought mine, I make that story sound bad. And it was a very difficult time for me. One thing it did allow me to do, worked on national, massive campaigns for, massive brands. And it made me take I was more of a web design, programming, iPhone apps, Android apps, those different types of things. But that, that exposed me to the world of multi-seven-figure agency clients. I remember the first time that, we pitched I think it was a $13 million project over a year. And I was like, wow, this is like a lot of money. And we got it. And I was like, my mind was blown at that point. I was like, wow, I'm going to stop selling. And at the time, I would probably sell a website for $50,000, $70,000. I was like, well, I'm going to stop selling $50,000, $70,000 websites and go get $10 million contracts. That didn't work out that well because I realized how much you actually have to do for the $13 million and how much stress it is. But even still, it was good. It was good.